Have you ever stopped to consider the history behind the national motto of the United States, "In God We Trust"? This phrase, now so familiar that we hardly give it a second thought, is more than just words stamped on our currency. It's a declaration, a testament to the values and beliefs that this nation holds dear. A national motto, you see, is not a random selection of words. It's a carefully chosen phrase that encapsulates the spirit, the ethos of a people. "In God We Trust" is such a motto. It reflects a deep-rooted faith, a reliance on a higher power that has guided the United States through times of peace and turmoil alike. But how did this phrase come to be the national motto? What's the story behind its adoption? It's a tale that's as intriguing as it is inspiring. So let's delve into the intriguing story of how "In God We Trust" became the national motto of the United States. Before "In God We Trust," there was "E Pluribus Unum." But what does this Latin phrase mean, and where did it come from? E Pluribus Unum. It's a Latin phrase that's intricately woven into the fabric of American history, but it's often overlooked or misunderstood. This phrase, which translates to "out of many one," was the de facto motto of the United States before "In God We Trust" took the spotlight. The story of E Pluribus Unum begins in ancient Rome. It was a concept used by the Roman poet Virgil in his work Moritum, to describe the blending of diverse ingredients into a single dish, a metaphor for the creation of harmony from diversity. Fast forward a few centuries, and the phrase finds its way into the New World. The Founding Fathers, who were well-versed in classical literature, chose E Pluribus Unum as the motto for the Great Seal of the United States in 1782. This was a time when 13 diverse colonies were coming together to form a single unified nation. The motto captured the spirit of this union perfectly. On the Great Seal, E Pluribus Unum is displayed prominently on a scroll clutched in the beak of a bald eagle, the national bird. This powerful symbol of unity was a reminder that though the states were many and diverse, they were one nation under a common cause. E Pluribus Unum was more than just a motto. It was a statement of unity and strength. It reflected the vision the Founding Fathers had for their new nation, a place where diverse states, cultures and people could come together as one. It was a testament to the strength that comes from diversity, and a bold declaration of the power of unity. E Pluribus Unum was an apt motto for a young nation, but it would not remain the only one. Now let's move forward to the mid-19th century. In the midst of the Civil War, a new phrase began to emerge, one that would soon find its way onto American currency. The phrase was "In God We Trust," and its inception was rooted in a turbulent period of American history, a time when the nation was torn apart by conflict and strife. As the nation battled internally, there was an increased emphasis on faith and a higher power. Amid this heightened religious sentiment, Reverend Mark Watkinson, a Baptist minister from Pennsylvania, wrote to the Secretary of the Treasury, suggesting that the United States recognize the Almighty God in some form on our coins. His argument was that this acknowledgement would declare the nation's trust in God amid the chaos of the Civil War. The Secretary of the Treasury, Salmon P. Chase, agreed with Watkinson's suggestion. He instructed the Director of the Mint at Philadelphia, James Pollock, to prepare a motto that could be placed on the country's coins. Pollock, inspired by a verse from the Star-Spangled Banner, "And this be our motto, in God is our trust," proposed the slightly modified version, "In God We Trust." In 1864, the phrase made its first appearance on the 2-cent coin. It was a bold step, marking the first time that the United States had officially recognized a deity on its currency. The public response was generally positive, with many people believing the motto to be a comforting declaration of faith during a time of national crisis. The phrase then began to appear on various other denominations, gradually finding its place on all American currency. Interestingly, this development was not without controversy. Some people argued that it violated the First Amendment, which prohibits any law respecting an establishment of religion. However, the courts maintained that the phrase was of a patriotic or ceremonial character and bore no true relation to a single religion. The phrase "In God We Trust" was now in circulation, but it was not yet the official national motto. This would only happen nearly a century later, in a time of another national crisis, but that's a story for the next scene. Fast forward to the 1950s, America was in the grip of the Cold War, and a movement to make "In God We Trust" the official national motto was underway. Now, let's set the stage. The 1950s were a tumultuous time for the United States. The nation was caught in the throes of the Cold War, a period of political hostility between the Western Bloc, led by the United States, and the Eastern Bloc, led by the Soviet Union. This was not a typical war fought with guns and bullets, but rather a war of ideologies, a battle between democracy and communism. The American public was on edge, with fears of nuclear warfare and communist infiltration running high. Amidst this climate of fear and uncertainty, the idea of a national motto that invoked the divine was seen as a source of comfort. It was a way of underlining the difference between the United States and the atheistic communism of the Soviet Union. In this atmosphere, a movement began. It was a push to make "In God We Trust" the official national motto of the United States. This phrase, which had appeared on American coinage since the Civil War, encapsulated the religious faith that many Americans leaned on during these challenging times. The movement gained traction, and in 1955, a bill was introduced in Congress to make "In God We Trust" the official national motto. This wasn't a decision made lightly. The proposal spurred a great deal of debate, but ultimately, the words "In God We Trust" resonated with the American public. The bill was passed, and on July 30, 1956, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed it into law. The United States had officially adopted "In God We Trust" as its national motto, a phrase that would be imprinted not just on coins but on paper currency as well. And so, in 1956, "In God We Trust" became the official national motto. But what does this motto mean to Americans today? Now, in the 21st century, "In God We Trust" continues to hold a special place in American culture. As we traverse the landscape of modern America, the motto is omnipresent. It's intricately woven into the fabric of the nation, from the heart of the government to the everyday lives of its citizens. In the realm of finance, "In God We Trust" remains a steadfast companion on American currency. From the humble penny to the grandeur of the $100 bill, the motto is a constant reminder of the nation's spiritual roots. It silently accompanies transactions, symbolizing the country's trust in a higher power, regardless of the ebb and flow of economic fortunes. In the halls of justice, too, the motto echoes. In courtrooms across the nation, it stands as a beacon of faith and morality. A silent sentinel, it bears witness to the pursuit of justice, reminding all of the inherent dignity and worth of every individual under God. Within the sanctum of education, "In God We Trust" has found a home. In classrooms, it serves as a testament to the nation's commitment to instilling core values in the young minds that will shape America's future. It's not just a motto, but a guiding principle that underscores the importance of trust and faith in shaping character and fostering unity. However, as with any symbol, "In God We Trust" is not without its controversies. For some, it's a cherished marker of America's spiritual heritage. For others, it's a point of contention, a debate about the intersection of religion and state. Yet it's these differing perspectives that make the motto a dynamic reflection of America's diverse and evolving identity. Indeed, "In God We Trust" is more than a simple statement. It's a conversation, an ongoing dialogue about the nation's values, beliefs, and aspirations. It's a mirror reflecting the multifaceted reality of America, a nation shaped by its people and their enduring faith in a brighter tomorrow. From "E Pluribus Unum" to "In God We Trust," the national mottos of the United States reflect the evolving values and beliefs of this dynamic nation. So what's in a motto? As we've seen, quite a lot. Our journey started with the Latin phrase "E Pluribus Unum." Its powerful message of unity from diversity was the bedrock of the young United States. But as the nation matured, a new motto began to rise. "In God We Trust" emerged, reflecting the country's deep-rooted faith. Its introduction was not without controversy, but its resonance was undeniable. By 1956, "In God We Trust" had become so ingrained in American consciousness that Congress made it official. We've also seen how the phrase continues to hold significance in the present day, reflecting the enduring faith of many Americans. It's a fascinating tale of how simple words can capture the spirit of a nation, isn't it? A national motto is more than just a phrase on a coin. It's a snapshot of a nation's identity at a particular point in time. And for the United States, "In God We Trust" continues to be a powerful part of that identity.